Hey guys, this is Alexis from yourmindfulblog.com. So, today I'm going to talk about letting go of rejection. Oh boy, rejection. That's one of the toughest things to handle. We could try to think our ways out of it, but it becomes very difficult to let go of it. Rejection can come in many forms. It could come in the form of not getting a job. It could come up in the form of male to female, female to male. As men, it happens so often. And to females, it's very hard to reject too. I understand. It's even harder to get rejected as a female because it's not often that they put themselves out there, because men are the ones that are usually pursue. And when a woman comes up to a guy with showing interest, it's obvious that quote unquote she's putting a lot at risk to get rejected. It's not. No, please don't bark. It's my doggy. It's not often that people get rejected. So that's why I would like to talk about how to deal with rejection. Okay. The first thing you have to understand is that observe the reasons why you are, or in other words, observe the reasons for your actions before getting rejected. Why did you initially, what was your motive behind approaching this person, or what was your motive behind approaching something in order to gain something? You understand? What was your motive? Okay, for example, let's say you are a woman or a man who sees a person who's attractive. Okay, so when you're going up to the person, are you thinking, I must get accepted? I must not get rejected. You understand? Are you doing it because you need the outcome in order to be happy? You understand? Or are you doing it because you just feel like doing it? It just comes from you. You're just expressing yourself. It doesn't come from a place of, I need this to happen or else I won't be happy. Okay? Because what tends to happen is that, first of all, that increases your chances of being rejected. I mean, that's the first, definitely. Second of all, it kind of just builds up tension inside of you. It kind of just builds up the tension, builds it up, to the point that it's almost like there's a climax at the point of you asking for the number, or you're gonna hear the response if it's either a yes or a no. So your approach to the action itself is actually the most fundamental reason as to why it's difficult to let go of rejection, because you're putting your whole self into the outcome. You're saying to yourself, if they say no to me, man, that says everything about my value as a person. If they reject me from the job interview, man, that shows that I am not worthy of a job. If this girl says no to me, that shows I am not a valuable person. I am not meant to be loved. You understand? But the crazy thing in life is that 90% of the time is never personal. Actually, 95% of the time is never personal. You understand? Because to the other person, you're just another human being casually going by. And you know what? In life, we say no a lot of the times. When someone breaks up with you, half of the time, most of the time, they're not doing it because you as a person, it's because they just lost interest. If you ever broken up with someone, you know that it's not personal, but that you just lost interest. But it's very hard to swallow that pill that is not personal. So we tend to make it personal because, like I said before and in my previous talks, our ego is attached to it. Our sense of self is attached to the person saying yes or saying no to you. Your happiness is based on the person's acceptance towards you. You're putting so much on the line, you don't have to do that. So if you just do the action for the action itself, just express it. The Bhagavad Gita says, and I always say this, you are entitled to the action, but not the fruits of your actions. I think, it's you're entitled to the labor, but not the fruits of your labor. In other words, your only job is just to act. Your only job is just to act. Don't wait for the response. Don't do something for the response, because while you're taking the action and you think about the outcome, it's gonna come off as very stiff, very rigid, and you're gonna seem very nervous. And so, like I said, it's just gonna increase the chances of being rejected. It's because you're trying to protect something. You know, you're trying to protect your happiness. Oh, I must not fail. So you come about it very carefully, very cautiously. So in reality, you're not thinking from a mentality to promote and to enhance. You're thinking from a mentality to prevention. It's more like fear of failure. You know, your actions are from fear rather than from excitement. So rather than showing excitement and positive vibe and positive emotion, you know what comes out? Fear, negative emotion. And you know what they're gonna feel? They're gonna feel a negative vibe to you, even though that's not really you. But the problem is that the source from where your actions are coming from is from a source of negative emotion. Now, what's a negative emotion? A negative emotion is just an emotion that causes negative responses to your body, an emotion that causes your balance, your chemical balance inside of your body to go out of whack, because stress, fear actually kills your body, kills your cells. Not kills your cell. There's research that shows that it lowers your immune system, okay, and it affects your cells at a very fundamental level. You understand? Like, people who are stressed out, they get older quicker because it affects their bodies, their metabolism, their ability to regenerate and their ability to sleep. You understand? So negative emotions are just emotions that have a bad effect on your body. Positive emotions, positive things, are things that affect your body in a positive way. So whenever you are going about it from a negative perspective, people are going to run away from you, because you're coming about it from a way of, I'm expressing my fear to you. I'm expressing my fear to you, but I don't want to show you that. You understand? So there's an incongruence in your actions. So inside of your mind, you're coming from fear, but your mouth, you're trying to cover it up with trying to sound confident. So it's kind of like trying to cover up an odor with perfume or deodorant. People are gonna smell that. They're gonna smell that it smells good, but at the same time, underneath that good smell, there's something that just doesn't smell good at all, and I don't want that. You know what I'm saying? So, in order to deal with rejection, you gotta be 100% congruent. So if you come about it from a place of fear, all right. First of all, it's gonna increase chances of rejections, like I told earlier, and you're gonna feel bad because what you were afraid of happened. But if you come about it from a place of, I am not afraid of rejection, because in reality they're not rejecting me. They're rejecting the idea of me. Now that's a different perspective. Right now, that's when you just step away from the line of fire. Right now, you're just putting a concept out, a concept that's not you, rather than just an idea. So when someone says no to me, and this is what happens: if someone says no to me, I just say, you know what, forget about it, man. They're just, they just don't like the idea of being with me. That's nothing wrong with that. First of all, one thing is that we're always ever changing. So they may say yes to you, they may say no to you today, but next year they may say yes to you. You understand? But at the truth of the matter is that you haven't changed. You understand? Like, at the deeper self, your personality may change and your view of the world may change. Even when you were a little kid, everything may change. But you know, the one thing that has always been consistent is your awareness of all the things that was going on. Think about it. When you were born, you know what's the one thing that you were born with? It was your awareness. You didn't have a personality. You didn't even have the same body, because when you were a little kid, your body regenerates and creates new cells, and by like age 7, you have a totally new body. Your brain is different when you were a child. But the one thing that always can remain consistent is your awareness. Your personality was developing, but your awareness was always there at 100%. So a year from now, you may change, but at the deep at the core of everything, you're still the same person. The awareness. So they're not saying no to you. They're just saying no to an idea, a mental concept that they have of you, and that's something you can't control. So understanding that you are that your concept, that how people interpret you, is always impermanent. It's not permanent. It's always ever changing. it helps you realize that, first of all, you could improve yourself, all right? You could definitely improve upon yourself so that they won't say no to you. But even better than that is that it just shows you how silly it is. It shows you that they're not saying no to you, man. They're just saying no to an idea of being with you. It's not personal. You know? So let's say if you feel rejected, and that's not a bad thing. Let's say they actually feel rejected, okay? First of all, don't try to feel good by saying, "Oh, fuck that bitch. She's just a bitch." Or like saying, "Oh, she's ugly anyways." Or saying, "I hate that job. That job sucks anyways. Look at all those. They're unhappy people. They only get 20-minute breaks." Don't try to make yourself feel better by putting someone else down. Because what's happening is that your ego, the one who's being hurt, is trying to survive. And you know what's going to happen? If you feed into it, if you keep reacting to it, it's going to keep feeling the rejection. All right? It's just a sensitive little kid. So what you should do is, when you get rejected, rather than putting someone else down to feel better, because again, you're producing negative emotion because you're acting from the negative emotion of rejection, what you should do is step back and observe yourself feeling rejected. Observe this entity inside of yourself that's trying to act as you, that's trying to say, "Look, we got rejected." Say, "Nobody, you are just a mental concept." All right? I feel my body feels rejected, but I didn't get rejected. It's just that my body feels rejected. And you just observe it. You know, watch your person. I call it listening to the radio. Listen to the radio of your thoughts and the radio of your emotions. So when you listen to the thought of saying, "Oh, I got rejected, this sucks," don't think that your thoughts are coming from yourself, because who's listening to the thoughts? You're the observer, and that's the object. All right? Your thoughts are the object, and you're the observer. Those are two totally different things. But the problem is that we think that the objects, the thoughts, is yourself. And so that's why when we think, "Oh, I got rejected," you feel that rejection. So step away and just observe it. Say to yourself, "Interesting." Just observe it and watch it. Like I said, it's like listen to the radio. Listen to the radio of your mind. Listen to it. And also listen to the radio of your emotional reaction. Observe your emotions. Don't personalize it. Observe it. You feel the rejection, just watch it. Because suddenly you are being who you are. You're becoming the observer. So you're not personalizing those emotions. What's going to happen is that slowly but surely, those emotions are going to be transmuted into peace. And so after a while, those rejections, you're just going to brush it off. And you know what? That's confidence. You're going to be so icy cold, and nothing's going to waver you. You're going to be extremely unreactive. So someone says no to you, you're like, "All right, cool." And you know what? And that keeps your positive vibe. That keeps you positive. And not only that, people are going to reject you less because you're not afraid of rejection. So you're going to act more confidently. You're not going to filter what you say in front of others. You're going to be more of yourself. And people are going to like you more, because they don't feel that you're trying to protect something. They're not going to feel that vibe. You're going to put everything out there. Even if you feel afraid, you're going to put that out there because you're not afraid that they're going to reject it, because you feel afraid. There's no fear. So your actions are extremely free-flowing. All right? And also when you feel the rejection, all right, whenever you feel rejected, the truth is that you're also rejecting yourself. Okay, because when you accept that emotion, you're saying to yourself, "Damn, I suck." So right now you're rejecting your own self through accepting that those emotions are part of you. So when you just observe it, step back, look at it from a third perspective, identify, become aware that you're not your thoughts, rather the awareness behind your thoughts. Suddenly when you get rejected, and when you listen to the voice inside of your mind saying to yourself, "Look, Alexis, I am such a bad person. You remember that one time when I got rejected? Now look at this. This is the confirmation that I am someone who's not worth it. Man, she rejected me. I must suck as a person." And suddenly when you say to yourself, you become the observer, you say to yourself, "Wow, that's true. What else happened in my life? And let me look back at my memories and see what happened." Suddenly those emotions start coming back, and they start feeding upon the emotions that are already talking to you, and you feel more intense rejection, more intense pain, and suddenly you take on the identity of someone who's rejected, and you walk around the world expecting that, because the thoughts that you gave life to through accepting it and not observing it, all of a sudden they will just keep talking to you throughout your day and looking for other reasons as to validate its existence. You know, someone may not even reject you. Someone may not even reject you, but you know what? You may interpret it as that. And the way you feel better is to put them down. Like say, fuck that bitch, like I said earlier. No. Act through love and acceptance. Someone says no to you, that's fine. Sometimes what I like to say to myself is, someone rejects me, this is what I said. And this can definitely help you. I just say, you know what? I forgive them for not seeing who I really am. You know? I forgive them for not seeing who I really am. You know, if you really want to put your thoughts into it, just say that. I forgive them for not seeing who I really am. I'm actually a great person. But that's fine. You know, no harm done. You understand? Because the way you react to the world, you know, that's your reality. So whenever you react with peace and love, people are going to treat you like that. Maybe not this person, but the next person will. And if they don't, that's fine. You're not looking for that to feel happy. You really are. You know, so that's how you deal with rejection. Don't personalize it. You know, understand that you're not permanent. You're always ever changing. So next week you could be good. You know, next week you could be accepted. You know, they're not rejecting you. They're just rejecting the idea of you. And when you come about it from a place of not being outcome dependent, rather than just doing it because you're doing it and because you want to do it and because you don't need their acceptance to feel happy, there won't be any rejection. It will just be another life situation that's happening, and you just accept it. And if you feel rejected, accept it, because that's a part of yourself that's coming through. Listen to it. Don't reject it. Get it? Don't reject it. Observe it. Observe the feeling of rejection. Go deeply into it, but don't feel as though that's you. Just observe it. Go deep into it through observing it. And also, don't try to distract yourself. Don't just say, fuck that bitch, and try to like do something else in order not to think about it. No. I'm not saying to think about it. I'm just saying let the emotions and thoughts be there. Just observe them, accept them. You know, say, all right, you guys are here for now. I'm gonna watch you guys. I'm gonna observe you. I'm not gonna allow your gravitational pull to pull me in and to think about it a lot more. I'm just gonna observe you guys, and that's it. And that's how you deal with rejection. Observing the emotion, accepting it, forgiving the person for rejecting you, and understanding that they're not rejecting you, they're rejecting the idea of being with you, and that's it. And you let go of it. And if you keep thinking about it, don't try not to think about it. And if the thought is there, just observe it. Give it your attention. You know, that's how you act with loving. That's how you love yourself, through accepting everything that arises in your mind, and understand that that's not you. It's just your brain being your brain. This is all for now. This is the Lexus from your Mindful blog. I hope you have a good day. And excuse my doggy barking. All right, thank you. Goodbye.